If you clicked on this video, then that means you're probably someone who has been very curious about going to the gym. You want to look more muscular, aesthetic, and healthy. Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about scientifically optimizing muscle growth for beginners in terms of workouts, diets, and lifestyle. The number one most important thing for a beginner lifter to learn is proper exercise form. See, many beginners feel the pressure to lift heavier weights when they compare themselves to their stronger, more experienced friends that they go to the gym with. Some may even think that if they lift the heaviest weights in the gym, then they'll grow muscle a lot faster. Lifting weights you cannot handle will lead to a compromised form, which will then halt your learning and muscle growth as a new lifter. As a beginner, the most important aspect of training is not lifting the heaviest weights in the gym. Rather, it is trying to perform the exercise with perfect form. Lifting heavy weights with improper form will not only hinder your learning of the exercise, but can also lead to injuries in the short and long term. And having injuries will cause you to take days away from the gym, which will consequently slow down your muscle growth as a beginner. I recommend for beginners to start off with very light weights so that they can perfect their form, and then in the coming weeks, add additional weight slowly to progressively overload. Many new lifters may be asking, what is progressive overloading? Well, progressive overloading means to increase the reps, weight, or frequency of an exercise routine. The easiest way for beginners to gain strength is to focus on progressively overloading their exercises week by week. As you get stronger and are able to lift more and more weight, you can stimulate more muscle growth. As a beginner, you shouldn't be worried too much about the changes in your physique. Focusing on getting stronger and lifting more weights every week will allow the muscle to come naturally due to the increased muscle stimulation and thus increased muscle growth. In my opinion, the simplest way to get stronger in your compound lifts, like the bench, squat, and deadlift, is to do a 5x5. The positive correlation between performing lower rep sets and increased muscle and strength gains is supported by this scientific articles as well as many others. Once you're able to complete the 5x5 without dropping weights, you can then add on an additional 2.5 pounds to each side of the barbell in the following week and repeat that until you're able to complete that set without dropping any weights in between sets. For a 5x5 regimen, I would recommend resting for 3 minutes in between each set. As a beginner, you don't want to go to failure with every set of every exercise. We always see motivational videos of professional bodybuilders going to failure in every set of their workout. These videos come with quotes that go something along the lines of, "If you're not working hard enough, you won't make gains." Although this quote is somewhat applicable for advanced lifters, this couldn't be more wrong for people who are new to the gym. When you're beginning your fitness journey, you actually don't need a lot of stimulation to see muscle growth. Excessive heavy stimulation for beginners will actually cause them to be too sore to work out in the week or the following weeks, which will actually hinder growth. Additionally, it will cause the person to build a negative association with working out, which will actually discourage them from going to the gym at all. On the contrary, beginners also shouldn't be slacking off since they are at the stage which they have the most potential to build muscle. A good rule of thumb would be to try to get very close to failure on the last set of each exercise. So for example, if you're doing a 5x5, you would want to choose a weight that would get you very close to failure on the 5th rep of the 5th set. The diet that beginner lifters should be eating depends on their current body composition and their body composition goals. However, there are a few variables within one's diet that should always be present when the goal is to build muscle, no matter the body fat percentage. When someone performs a workout, they create micro tears in their muscles, and when these muscles are repaired, they grow back thicker and denser, which also increases the muscle's size. This repair can only happen when proteins are present in the body to provide the amino acid building blocks for new muscle tissue. This is why dietary protein intake is so important when trying to maximize muscle growth and repair. Proteins in diets mainly come from meats, poultry, eggs, dairy, tofu, beans, seafood, and nuts. There are many studies that try to determine the amount of protein that lifters should eat to optimize muscle growth. But I like to keep it very simple and say that you should be eating 1 gram of protein per pound of body mass. Some studies like to say that 0.5 gram per pound of body weight is enough, and some like to say 1.5 or 2 grams per pound of body weight. This 1-to-1 ratio lies in between those two extremes and is very easy to remember as well. A quick way to add more protein into your diet if you're not getting enough is to drink protein shakes. Just be cautious that your protein is not full of sugars or carbohydrates and that its main ingredient is whey protein isolate. Besides proteins, I don't think it's very necessary or convenient to track any other macronutrients. I believe in intuitive eating, meaning that you should eat whenever you feel like it, just as long as the things you're ingesting are whole and nutritious foods. For your 3 main meals, I would recommend following this plate layout, which was coined by Jeff Cavalier. In your 9 to 12 sections, you would have your starchy carbohydrates, like rice and potatoes. The 12 to 4 section would contain your lean proteins, and the 4 to 9 section would contain vegetables. This plate layout is great for those who are looking to build muscle while maintaining or even lowering their body fat percentage. I want to stress that this plate layout is just the basics to portioning out your healthy meals, and it is absolutely okay to not follow the exact layout to the T. I also believe that it is okay to have foods that are not necessarily whole or nutritious, just as long as you're eating clean 80% of the time. Lastly, most of our muscle building and repairing happens in our sleep. So to maximize muscle growth, we must make sure that we get sufficient hours. This would usually be between 7 to 9 hours daily. If you're working hard at the gym and creating those micro tears in your muscles and going home to only 5 hours of sleep, then that means your body won't be recovered in time for your next workout. This is why sleep is so crucial. It allows your body to recover from the damage that happened at the gym, so you're able to work out in the next day without feeling fatigued. And that's going to be it for the video. Let me know if there are any other topics you guys wanted me to explore or elaborate on. And thanks so much for watching. Peace.